With the 6th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Malik Nabers, wide receiver, LSU.
So they do go wide receiver from LSU, just like back in the day, Odell. And it is Malik Nabers coming to the Giants' fold and bringing his remarkably dynamic style of play to the NFC East, and an offense that currently will be quarterbacked by Drew Lock until Daniel Jones is healthy, as it currently stands, as he walks to the stage right now.
I talked to Brian Daboll before last year's draft, and I said, what do you need to get accomplished? He said, we might be the slowest team in the league. We've got to get faster. We've got to get more dynamic. They made an effort with that last year with Jalen Hyatt, big-time speed they've added, and now they get the most electrifying wide receiver in this class. Not the most polished, but a big play waiting to happen. That can be throwing the ball 60 yards down the field. That can be literally handing him the ball and watching him run 60 yards down the field.
Well, you just mentioned what they had to do, and they've got all that in terms of the speed and everything else, the dynamicism. But here's the thing for me, Joel. It's the competitiveness. If you've been around Brian Daboll and been around his ball club, they always have competitive periods, ones versus ones. End the day with a competitive thing, who won, who lost. He wants all of that. That's Malik Nabers.
Yep.
That fits Brian Daboll. Remember, Brian Daboll was in Buffalo when they acquired Stephon Diggs, and he came out and was dynamic right from the beginning under Brian Daboll. That fits perfectly in terms of who they are, who Brian Daboll is as a head coach, and what his team needs if they want to start getting back on that mission to try and win the NFC East.
You see that competitiveness, guys, show up with the ball in his hands. You know, when he's running, you can see just the urgency that he has in creating some of those big plays. DJ, you've said during this program he's got like a jetpack on his back. I mean, that's how he plays, whether he's running a route down the field or he's got the ball in a tunnel screen.
And please let the Giants and the Jets do some preseason scrimmages, because we're going to have a necklace off between Leak and Sauce, and they'll go at each other every day in the practice field.
It's called the Snoopy Bowl every single year.
Yeah, but I want them to have some of those practices and get at it.
Last thing.
And I think this is this guy's so talented. I mean, his gliding speed, he's got incredible speed, but the way he glides on the field truly sets him apart, because it disguises his incredible speed. I think what we have here, what we're looking at right now, is a player that there could be a little lower floor with him, because he's not as polished as a Marvin Harrison Jr. But what pushed him just past Marvin Harrison Jr. in my ratings, Bucky, was the fact that he has elite speed, elite competitiveness, and there's not a lot of things he doesn't do well. But what I really love, he can work from the slot. And I think that is a big weapon to work the X, the Z, the slot. He can work any of those wide receiver spots.
Look, dog. Straight
one
dog.
word.
He has all the competitive fire and the instincts that you're looking for in an elite playmaker. When you turn on the tape and you watch him, he can run every route in the book. He's terrific with the ball in his hands as a run-after-catch guy. And he just has this ability to turn his game up a notch when he needs to. The comparison I like to DJ Moore is real, but this is a big-time playmaker, one that'll make the game easy for Daniel Jones, because he can turn those short passes into big games.
Sure, and as Lance, as you were saying, put him in the slot, man. They ran that slot fade to death down in Death Valley at LSU, and he was so successful on it. Put the ball in his hands, watch him. There it is, the slot fade.
Again and again.
Just shows up, and oh, gosh.
Like that?
Again and again.
You like that. Let me tell you something. When he gives you that little nod and go, you're done. It's a wrap. Because if you misstep on anything that he shows you, and he can tilt corners too. That's one of the things I really like about him, is the polish isn't quite there as a route runner. Hasn't needed to be. They run in space a lot at LSU. But, man, when you see what he's able to do with the hips, the feet, the suddenness, the burst, his ability to accelerate from 0 to 60 is almost instantaneous. And that's something to me.
Is that a slot fade again?
That's another slot fade.
No, that's what they called it against Texas A&M. Again.
You're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of them. But, really he was so much more effective from the slot, but can work outside. And another factor that I really think goes under-discussed with Malik Nabers is you talk about his speed and suddenness, but he is a competitive contested catch guy. He is going to body you up, put you on his hip, get the arm extension, and he's going to go get it. You talk about dog, Bucky. The dog stuff shows up when it's a 50-50, and he's got that dog in the 50-50 ball.
With the 47th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Tyler Nubin, safety, Minnesota.
So, folks in New York have heard it. Hello, Nubin.
Nice.
Before, on the Upper West Side. Now Tyler Nubin is making his way to New Jersey. What do you think?
He's the best safety in the draft class, the first one to go. So we're seeing running backs, linebackers, safeties. Welcome to day number 2. Mention him as the best safety in the draft. He's got the production to back it up. 13 career interceptions. Charles, tremendous awareness, tremendous ball skills for Nubin.
And Xavier McKinney's gone to Green Bay. That's a screaming need for them. And Joel, you've seen Minnesota play.
Yep.
What are they doing in developing defensive backs up there? Because the instincts are what I always see out of these Minnesota DBs, especially the guys in the middle of the field. Antoine Winfield, Tyler Nubin, their ability to range and make plays on the football. I love Nubin's ability to do that and come down and tackle.
You took the words out of my mouth because it's the mentorship of those guys. In fact, Tyler Nubin credits being able to play with Antoine Winfield and be mentored by Antoine Winfield as what allowed him to become a better player and develop those instincts that you're talking about. When they play two safeties and he can float and roam, his instincts take over, and DJ, that's why he gets all that production.
I didn't see it. Swear to you. We had linebacker and running back go with back-to-back picks before this one. So I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if the safety gets the Demons exercise next? And here it goes.
First of all, the positions. Tyler Nubin, without question, is the best football-playing safety to come out of the draft this year. I think the only thing holding it back is the athletic profile is pretty average. But when you get past his RAS score, which is the big, hot athletic number that you look at, he is incredibly instinctive. You'll see he is frequently moving on plays, and most of these plays that you'll watch on these XOs, he's moving on plays before anything happens. He has a great ability to read the route, feel the route, read the quarterback, see where his eyes are, and he lets the eyes take him to the football. And Bucky, as somebody who's been a wide receiver and a DB, instincts are not a given. Instincts can't be learned all the time. He's got them.
He certainly has them. He's a natural center field safety, and you can talk about the athletic profile all you want, but this guy plays faster than he times because of his instincts and awareness and anticipation. When you're looking at someone that can turn the ball over, Tyler Nubin is your guy. Deep middle player, can play on the hashes, just has an innate feel for where the ball is going. You can't look, it's hard to find guys who have ball skills and ball awareness like he has. He's an outstanding player.
With the 6th pick, the 70th pick overall, in the 3rd round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select cornerback Andru Phillips, University of Kentucky. Good luck, Andrew.
It's been a good night for corners, and it's also been a good night for players with the versatility to play outside or inside. I don't use that word lightly, CD, when I write down Warrior with the way he plays. He is intense, he is aggressive, and he is physical. It shows up with how physical he is at the line of scrimmage, as well as how physical he is down the field. I thought he was the best available corner on the board at this point in time in the draft, and I love the value they got. I believe nickel is his absolute best spot.
Yeah, and watch this. Remember, who was the young guy? We had Will McDonald from Iowa State. Remember that a couple years ago? Will used to like to run and jump over cars. We have our next guy, Andru Phillips. Look at that. And you go back into his backstory. They say he was one of those focused kids right from the word go.
Yep.
Football, football, football. His parents wanted him to be well-rounded, try a lot of different things. All he wanted to do was gravitate back towards football, and he's gotten it done. Another one of Jeremy Lincoln's proteges, former NFL cornerback, in terms of tutoring him. Joel, this kid locks in and plays.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, every time you turn on tape, your eyes go to him.
With the 107th pick of the 2024 draft, the New York Giants select Theo Johnson, tight end, Penn State.
So you get a big, tall, fast linebacker. You see the size, they're almost 260 pounds. He runs like a wide receiver. He ran 4.57, which is a ridiculous time for a tight end. I thought he aced the spring. From what we saw at the Senior Bowl, the All-Star circuit, he was excellent there. Then the Combine, the Pro Day, you name it. That's where he really upped his stock. They flex him out in the slot. They've got another tight end. You see him 44 right there. He's going to be a high pick in next year's draft class. So a lot of places to spread this ball around, but you can see the athleticism here, CD. And Peter, you think about the New York Giants and you think about a tall, rangy, athletic tight end, another one came to mind.
Darren Waller would be the name, and I'm sure Ian's got some juice on that. But, Theo obviously comes in with his own career, but they are ecstatic on this one. Another guy I thought would go day 2.
And with the 166th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Tyrone Tracy, running back, Purdue. Go Giants!
I love this pick. Tyrone Tracy, to me, I thought he was the 5th best running back in the draft.
Woo!
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Spicy.
Yeah, it's spicy, but here's the problem. He's 25 years old, so he's a little bit older.
So he's an old man. He can rent a car.
He can rent a car for sure.
He can rent a car.
He can rent a car.
He can get himself there if he doesn't play.
But you don't want him to drive.
Home.
You don't want him to drive the car like he runs, because if so, it's going to come back dented, and beat up. Because he is physical. He's a former wide receiver who moved to running back. He's got 1 year full time under his belt at running back, and I'm going to tell you what, it's good. The tape on him, you can see he's got very loose, oily hips when he runs. And what that allows you to do is make cuts at sharper angles once he gets in between the tackles. He's physical after contact. He's got very good contact. There he is at Iowa, where he came over from Iowa. But he's got the ability to run through contact. And so he's got a wide receiver background. He is physical through contact. He's got the agility to make guys miss. And he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. I thought at the combine, he looked really, really good in all the routes they asked him to run. I think Tyrone Tracy is a tremendous, tremendous value here for the Giants. He'll be a number 2 running back for them before you know it. He can play all 3 downs. And if he wasn't 25 years old, I really have to wonder if he's 22 years old, if this is a player who's maybe going inside the first 3 rounds, because the tape is good enough to go inside the first 3.
With the 181st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Darius Muasau, linebacker, UCLA. Go Giants!
Go Giants is right. And how about the G-men going into Southern California for a linebacker, one of Chip Kelly's former players, actually a team leader in terms of tackles with 75 and some good play experience, started every game last year.
Yeah, play speed not great, but he's played a lot of football, started at Hawaii and was very productive at Hawaii, came over to UCLA and was productive once he got to UCLA. He was second team all-conference 2 years in a row at UCLA, so showed that he could make the step up from Hawaii to UCLA. He does a nice job of flowing to play direction. He reads it very, very quickly. He'll stick his nose in the trash inside and go rooting around for running backs. You like that too, that type of mentality. I think, getting off of climbing linebackers, he lets linebackers get up on him and get into his frame a little bit too frequently. But what I do love, Mike McDaniel's excited about somebody falling to him. We can tell he's very excited about it. But what I like about Muasau there, just to finish up, is he's an instinctive player who plays full speed ahead. That is a special teams linebacker pick in the 6th.